Students, welcome for the next session of breathing and exchange of gases, part 4. In this lecture, we are going to study about regulation of respiration. And the next part is disorders of the respiratory system. First of all, we'll study regulation of respiration. So in this point, what we are going to study about how respiratory system, how respiration, breathing is all controlled by the nervous system of the human being. So the regulation of the nervous system along with the respiratory system and the coordination, how it is controlled, that we are going to study about in this lecture. In previous lectures, we have studied about respiratory system, exchange of gases. So exchange of gases between the external environment and the respiratory system. Then we have studied exchange between lungs and the bloodstream in the alveoli and the capillary exchange of gases. And also we have studied about the exchange of gases at cellular level. So exchange of O2 CO2 between cell and the bloodstream. So all this blood and respiratory exchange of respiratory gases that we have studied about at that level. So all the three stages we have studied how exchange of gases occur in between external environment and lungs, and second from lungs to bloodstream, third from bloodstream to cell, and from cell to bloodstream. These three levels we have studied. Then anatomy we have studied about the respiratory system, and transportation of gases through the blood, how hemoglobin is responsible for exchange of gases, transportation of gases, and what is partial pressure. Also we have studied about the volume and capacities of the human lung. So all this part we have studied in previous lectures, and in this lecture especially we are going to study about the regulation of respiration. So what is regulation of respiration is the control and proper functioning of the respiratory system. So that is made possible with the help of the nervous system of human being. So what is nervous system of human being? It is made up of brain and spinal cord and a network of neurons spread all over the body. Yeah, so the main function and main organ of the nervous system is brain, which controls all the body functions, and also it regulates and tend to carry out it at normal level. So there are special centers in the brain, especially medulla region of the brain. Medulla region of the brain called respiratory rhythm center. It is called as respiratory rhythm center. It is present in the medulla region of the brain. You know where is medulla? It is actually a medulla oblongata, also called as brain stem. So in the medulla region of this medulla oblongata, the respiratory rhythm center is present, which is responsible for regulation of respiration in human being. Then the another center, there are total two centers present in the human being for controlling respiration. So first center is respiratory rhythm center, and second is pneumotaxic center. So what is that? First respiratory system or respiratory center is first respiratory rhythm center is controlling the respiration. Second center is pneumotaxic center. These are the two centers. Respiratory centers which control the respiration, and also I have told you about the location of the respiratory rhythm center. Yes. So respiratory rhythm center is present in the medulla region of the brain. Pneumotaxic center is present in the pons valley of the brain. So pons region is at the top of the medulla oblongata, and the bulb-like structure. You can see the swollen structure of the brain. You just remember the structure of the brain. So the uppermost portion is the pons, and the lower portion is the medulla oblongata. So they are very close to each other. These are two centers which control the respiration in human being. Now the question arises that how actually respiration is controlled by these two centers, respiratory rhythm center and pneumotaxic center. Then it is all related with the concentration of CO2 and H2 ions. Concentration of CO2 and H2 ions. Changes in the concentration of CO2 and H2 ions actually uh, triggers the centers, respiratory centers. These two respiratory centers are triggered by changes in the concentration of CO2 and H2 ions. So what happens when there is a high or low concentration of the CO2 and H2 concentration? It gives signal to the chemosensitive area which is just adjacent to the rhythm center, which is sensitive to CO2 and H2 ion concentration. So this concentrations give signal to the chemosensitive area which is adjacent to the respiratory rhythm center, and then this chemosensitive area uh, triggers the respiratory rhythm center, and pons varoli is actually pneumotaxic. And because of that, the rate of breathing and depending upon that rate of respiration is controlled. So changes in CO2 and H2 concentration activates these centers. As I said, when there is a change in the CO2 and H2 concentration, then what happens? This activates these two centers, and once the centers are activated, then the whole process of respiration is controlled and necessary adjustments are done accordingly. Also, additionally, aortic arc and carotid artery. I'm saying, let me repeat: aortic arc, carotid artery, and the receptors associated with the carotid artery and aortic arc, they are also sensitive to changes in the CO2 and H2 concentration, and due to that it also uh, controls to the control in the sense what they give signal to the pneumotaxic center and respiratory rhythm center. In this way, the chemosensitive area just adjacent and just near to the rhythm center, and the receptors associated with the aortic arc and carotid artery, they are sensitive to changes in the CO2 concentration and H2 concentration, and once the changes in the carbon dioxide concentration and H2 ion concentration is detected by these centers like aortic arc and carotid artery receptors and chemosensitive area, then they give signal to the respiratory rhythm center and pneumotaxic center. Then what happens? These centers change the duration of inhalation. So it can be faster or it can be made very slow. Okay, according to the changes and adjustments are done. So change in the speed of inhalation changes the rate of respiration of the human body. So if uh, duration of the inhalation increased, then the respiration rate also change accordingly. If the inhalation rate is increased, then the respiration rate will be automatically increased according to the breathing and respiration is controlled by the centers present in the brain. One is present in the medulla region of the brain, one is present in the pons spirali of the brain. So, in medulla, respiratory rhythm center is present, and in pons, pneumotactic center is present. Now, we are going to study about the disorders of the respiratory system of the human. There are many respiratory disorders. From that, few respiratory disorders we are going to consider over here. First one is asthma. Asthma is a very common respiratory disorder, and the general symptoms of asthma, we have seen that shortness of the breath, means person is breathing very faster, and even due to the very little activity, just walking, simple we can consider in day to day life, what we do, walking, or we just go on upstairs or downstairs, what happens, the person starts suffocating. So that is nothing but the asthma. Now actually what happens in the asthma, I'll tell you. In asthmatic patients, the symptoms are seen that difficulty in breathing. They have lot of difficulty in breathing, they are not able to breathe normally. So that abnormality is uh, remarkably mentioned with the shortness of the breath and faster breathing rate. So that is the difficulty in breathing, and that causes wheezing. Okay, wheezing is what is kind of a voice that can be experienced while breathing in patient of asthma. Yeah, so difficulty in breathing causes wheezing. Wheezing is a kind of noise coming while breathing in asthmatic patient, the patient who is suffering asthma. Okay, and why wheezing occurs? Wheezing voice occurs because of inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles. What is bronchi and bronchiole? Already we have studied in previous lecture. When trachea divide into two branches, left and right, so that are called as bronchi, and when it enters into the lungs and spread into branches, they are bronchioles. So the internal lining of this bronchi and bronchiole are inflamed. What is inflammation? Inflammation is nothing but the swelling of the internal lining or internal wall of the bronchi and bronchiole. Due to that, there is a difficulty in breathing. There is very poor exchange of gases due to very less space present inside the bronchi and bronchiole, and that causes the shortness of the breath. Okay, because we cannot inhale much air inside. If we are not able to inhale much air inside, what happens? We have to breathe very faster. Again and again, we have to breathe very faster, and that faster breathing causes the wheezing. So this is nothing but the asthma, and very common disorder can be seen in the patient. Next one is emphysema. Yes, this is also very common disease, emphysema. It is a chronic disorder, means it can go for a very long time. So it is called as chronic disorder. And what happens in this chronic disorder? Alveoli of the lung and the wall of the alveoli. In the previous lecture, I have told you the structure of the alveoli. It is sac-like. So the internal lining of that alveoli is damaged. Why it is damaged? It is damaged due to cigarette smoking. The people who have smoking habits, that smoking habits damages the alveolar wall. Internal wall of the alveoli is damaged. If the internal wall of the alveoli is damaged due to cigarette smoking, then what happens? There is a decreased surface area for exchange of gases. If there is a less exchange of uh, gases while breathing, then there is a less supply of oxygen to the body. If body is not getting sufficient oxygen, what will happen? uh, the person starts suffocating, and that is not a good indication, because if the sufficient amount of oxygen is not available for the proper functioning of the brain, then the functioning of the brain collapses, and if such condition persists for a long time, it can even cause a death. So it is very dangerous. So proper care should be taken. So what is emphysema? Emphysema is the chronic disorder, and why it becomes chronic? Because of cigarette smoking. What happens due to cigarette smoking? The internal wall of the alveoli is damaged. So what happens due to the alveolar wall damage? There is a decrease in the surface area of the exchange of gases, and due to less exchange of gases, there is a uh, lacking of oxygen, insufficient supply of the oxygen to the body, and that is not a good indication. This is called as emphysema. And third disorder is what? Occupational respiratory disorder. The word occupational is very well known to all of you. Occupational means the person who is working in such a occupation which is causing damage to the respiratory system of the human. So that is why it is called as occupational respiratory disorder. And what is that disorder? When a person is working in industries like stone breaking, grinding industries, textile industries, which create very fine particles in the air, and they keep on floating in the air. So due to floating of this very fine particles, and the person is continuously working in such environment, and when he is inhaling and exhaling, actually breathing, so this what fine dust particles just goes inside the lungs, and due to that there is a blockage of alveoli. This all fine particles go and deposit in the alveoli sac, and due to deposition of these particles, there is a poor exchange of gases O2 and CO. And due to that, causes occupational respiratory disorder. So here we complete the chapter breathing and exchange of gases. If you have any doubt regarding the topic, you can please ask in the WhatsApp group, and side by side you have to prepare your own notes. Also, we'll conduct the related tests on the topic that we have completed.